This is the Wise Guy Radio Show, a podcast dedicated to educating and inspiring through conversations with today's top talents in the world of glass. We will be dissecting their journeys in hopes to deliver actionable content that you, the artist, can start implementing now, helping you grow not only as a creative spirit, but also a successful artistic entrepreneur. With a little organization, relationship building, and your artistic ability, you can obtain greatness. Climb aboard, whether an artist, retail owner, or enthusiast. We have a ton of fun in store for you. Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
You're listening to the Wise Guy Radio Show.
This episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show is brought to you by Mountain Glass Arts. For the month of June 2018, Mountain Glass is offering their Boro sale. Save 33% off odds and seconds, Glass Alchemy, North Star, and Troutman. They already have a discounted rate applied to this, so no coupon code is necessary. And for all you beautiful soft glass nerds, they have their Creations is Messy 40% off sale. All you have to do is put in the coupon code MESSY, that's MESSY, at checkout to receive 40% off. And also make sure you go and check out all of the deals and discounts and sales Mountain Glass has going on weekly and monthly. They now have a brand new website they've created just to make our life a lot easier in terms of searching and finding things on there. And they also have a ton of sales going on. Right now they have 3 separate weekly sales going on. So definitely go there and subscribe to their newsletter and stay in touch with Mountain Glass, and that's mountainglass.com. Go to mountainglass.com. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to the Wise Guy Radio Show, episode 195. This is your host, Jason Michael, and thank you so much for tuning in today. Today's episode is featuring Josh, one of the co-owners of Smokin Smittys Smoke Shop. They have 3 locations in Montana, and they were the sponsor for St. George, who will be on the next episode, 196, for the Tournament of Fire that Cherry Glass put on this for Season 2, Round 1. This year they're doing a little bit different format where they actually are having, instead of having a group of smoke shops sponsoring the entire event, they have it to where now smoke shop sponsors a specific artist. It's a really cool and interesting concept that they're doing this year. And these guys were part of, because they sponsored St. George, and he was the winner this year for Round 1. They also were part of the grand prize winner, and being a sponsor for their event, part of their winnings, in a sense, was to come on the show. And it actually worked out pretty amazingly, because something I've been wanting to do, as I've talked about before in the past, is to start bringing smoke shops on, but also bring them on to a different show, have a secondary show. I still haven't had a name for it yet. I'll say it now. If you are listening and you have an idea for what we can call the second show, that's going to be based around strictly for smoke shop owners and retail owners to come on to talk about their journeys, and basically the same type of conversation you're going to hear in a second. And ideally, what my goal is to help to bridge a gap between the retail and the artist. For the longest time, there's been this weird disconnect. Not for everybody, but because there are so many new artists out there and so many new smoke shops constantly opening, I feel it's time that we definitely kind of begin to bridge that gap. And by bringing them Smokin Smittys on for the first show, really going to give you some insight into kind of how that's going to work. Obviously, as like this show first started, as the kind of the concept and process of these interviews with smoke shops continue, it'll just get better and better. And for myself personally, this was the first time interviewing a retail owner and a smoke shop. So we had a lot of fun with the talk. It's a short and brief conversation. Didn't want to keep them holding up too long. He was actually at the store, and I didn't want to take him away from his customers all day. But we did have a really good in-depth conversation about their beginnings and origins. We covered some topics about how they purchase their work, who they look for, about the import influx in the market, also the fact that they are in Montana, out in the middle of nowhere, and how they kind of go about advertising and marketing their store. All that kind of good stuff. They really, Josh had some really good insights, and you'll hear with his origins, his actual nickname, his last name is Smith, and his nickname is Smitty, which is people call him Smitty. I was going to say, hey, Smitty, but I figured I like to give you, what their names are, actual names for people. Kind of back in the day with Facebook, when we all had our, those that were glass artists then, you could have like your incognito name for your Facebook profile, and then all of a sudden Facebook changes it, and they make you put your personal information on there, etc. So as all these artists out there in this world that we had at the time, we all got to start knowing their names and not just their glass names, their brand in a sense. And it kind of changed a lot of things for a lot of us, just in terms of branding and kind of putting ourselves out there. But that's a whole nother topic for another day. But today was just a lot of fun, just talking with him and sharing the story. Wanted to let you guys know, too, that they actually won Smoke Shop of the Year at Glass Vegas this year. And their big prize they have is Glass Vegas is actually going to be coming to their shop to hold a big party. And that is going to be held on August 18th, 2018, at their Bozeman location. It's going to be featuring Hick Dog, Tammy Baller, and Bob Harley Dog, as well as Laceface will be the special guest artist coming in there. They actually just went to her big opening that she had at her new gallery, which I'll maybe bringing Laceface on here back pretty soon to talk about that and with her husband and talk about their dynamics as an artist and a distributor. But that being said, they are having this party on August 18th out there at Smitty Smoke Shop up in Montana, and it's going to be at their Bozeman location. Basically, they're just going to be having a big-ass party to celebrate the fact that these guys are an awesome, amazing shop. They are doing some great things for the community and the industry, especially sponsoring the Tournament of Fire and what's going on, which is a whole new concept in online gaming for glass blowing. I know with a lot of the new shows coming out, like Forged by Fire and a lot of the stuff like that, it's really bringing interest into the whole idea of handmade, old-world, traditional type of craftsmanship. And there's always been this dynamic argument between whether being a glass blower, whether you're a craftsman or you're an artist. And a lot of us out there feel initially the creation of the first piece is the art. And then once you go into production, it can become a high-end production line, but it's also craftsmanship when it comes down to it. And I know I found when I was doing the hot shop work, we really felt, myself personally and from the artists that I worked with, that was more of a craftsmanship than art. And don't get me wrong, there's art in all sides of this as a fine art. But really when it comes down to it, Lex had a yawn there, excuse me. It's a little bit of both. It's art, it's science, it's engineering, it's function. There's a lot of things involved in all of this. So just super excited about everything. So it's fun to talk to a shop that really does give a shit about the artist, about the glass, about the industry, and where things are moving and evolving. And you'll hear as Josh talks and the passion in his voice and the way he talks about things, it's definitely a lot of fun. Kind of a backside note too, I do apologize for the sound qualities on the last episode of 194. Just the way things work out sometimes, and it is what it is. I tried to go through and kind of edit out some of the background noise that he had on his phone, but it is what it is. Not going to always have the ideal 100% sound quality, and as we all travel around and move around, and for those of you that live out in the middle of nowhere and don't always have a good connection, you got to go somewhere that has a good connection so you can talk to me on the phone. And just by chance, that's what he did. He went over to the local Starbucks, and you can hear all the baristas and the comments and conversations going on in the background. But I think overall the quality I was able to bring out in his voice so you can really hear our conversation. So I hope you guys definitely enjoyed that last episode. It was a lot of fun talking to a new artist and where he's at with his whole work and stuff. It was pretty cool stuff. But that being said, definitely excited. So I hope you guys do enjoy this. Kind of a first for the show. Well, it's not kind of, it is a first for the show. But it's also going to kick off the me now getting other smoke shops on board to start a whole new show. So that being said, if you want to send me an email, you can send me a DM, you can smoke signals, whatever you got to do to get me a message to let me know a name for the new show. I'm definitely going to put it out there for you all, because I would definitely, part of this is to involve you in this, and by having a contest in a sense to bring us a new name for the next show, which is basically going to be a show that's going to be for the smoke shop owners to talk about and discuss the ins and outs of their perspective in the industry. And two, we talk about all the time how this last year or so, this industry has been in a strange flux, and we're all trying to figure out what's going on. Is it the artist? Is it the smoke shop? Is it the legalities of things going on? Is it the imports? Is it the customer? What is it? Could be all the above. Could be none of it. Who the hell knows? It's the ebbs and flows and the roller coasters of being a business owner. But as we all do know, it's just the way the thing is. And this new show is going to help potentially, like I said, bridge the gap between the relationships that we have with our smoke shop owners. So send me an email if you want to at wiseguymedia@gmail.com. I'll have that link in the show notes. You can also send me a DM on Instagram. The Instagram page for the podcast is wiseguy_radio. That's WYZGUY_radio. And again, don't forget to follow my personal page, J. Michael Glass. And then, of course, I have my pipe page out there for all you that want to see what I do in terms of my functional work, which is just at my functionals. I have been also procrastinating like a son of a bitch here on posting my retirement from making pipes or semi-retirement for making pipes on Instagram. I made a post that I was going to announce it and still haven't done it. It's not easy to do. It's kind of funny because the day that I was going to post that, I hadn't told anybody yet, and I literally received 2 messages of people that were requesting some custom work. One of the orders I said yes to, and the other one I just kind of let them know what was up and put that aside. But the one that I said yes to was just from an older customer of mine that I definitely felt that it'd be a fun thing to make for my kind of last shebang-a-bang in terms of what I'm doing for my functional stuff. And I'll have pictures and stuff up for that soon when that gets going. But other than that, I'm going to get that post out there on Instagram later today, and we'll see what goes on. Until then, definitely stay hydrated. It's hot as hell. Y'all are sweating, I'm sure, as I know I am just standing here in my garage recording this right now, and I don't even have any flames going right now. So make sure you're staying hydrated. You got all kind of different things out there. You can get some cold washcloths in your fridge or freezer. You can have it cool down. Make sure you're taking breaks, and just pay attention to yourself. You know, like I've said in the past episodes, if you're not peeing at least once every couple hours, that means you're not drinking enough fluids. So make sure you're paying attention to that. Until next time, hope you guys enjoy this episode and conversation with Josh from Smokin Smittys up in out in Montana. And they were the grand prize shop winner for the Tournament of Fire Round 1. And again, thanks to those guys so much for their sponsorships and for being a big part of our community. Don't forget to check out their event on August 8th. I will have that in the show notes as well. And until next time, love you so much. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you on the next episode of the Wise Guy Radio Show. Take it easy. Peace. What's going on, Josh? Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good, man. It's stoked to have you guys on. It's going to be our first official smoke shop to have on the show here, which I'm excited to talk about, and especially right now with the current kind of weird flux in the industry going on, where some of the more successful glass artists out there are not quite so successful right now, just with the way things are going out there. So I kind of want to pick your brain to see if you have any ideas, on what's kind of going on out there. But before we go that far, definitely want to get you started here by kind of giving us your origin story and how you basically came into the scene in a sense as a retail shop.
So yeah, when I first started getting into it, I was kind of at a younger age, and I was just kind of, one of me and my best friends were looking into blowing glass, and he got just a home kit sent to his house. And then from there, I kind of just started selling glass to my friends, and I knew it was something I wanted to get into, and we always wanted to have a storefront. And then later on, kind of down the road, the opportunity came, and we kind of were in the position where he was blowing more glass, and then I was kind of just doing odds and ends. So I went with just trying to get the store open, and we took over in the older shop space, so it kind of helped us kind of be established, and he had already kind of had his glass in there, so it was kind of a nice transition from us from there. And when we first started to come up with the name, it was kind of just one of those things where my last name was Smith. So we decided to call it Smitty's because everybody would call me Smitty as a nickname.
Mm-hmm.
And we went from there. Kind of just, it was just a slow start, but getting into the industry at that time, it was still just a beginning as far as even the bigger artists out there. I didn't even really understand it at that time.
Right. What year did you guys open?
It was 2008.
Okay.
When we first opened. So we're going on our 10-year anniversary.
Awesome. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, especially in this industry, man, because I know, like, growing up in the town I grew up in, we probably had 35 shops open up, and just over the years, they'd all slowly kind of go away, and there's a couple that are still around, but then, like, these new ones are popping up even now, even more so. It's like, the ebbs and flows are going.
Yes, and that's, you're always kind of finding that kind of just people coming and going, but if you stay true to your roots and you stick to what the people need, you can usually hang in there throughout the years. Yeah,
that's awesome. So was the original shop, was it a glass studio itself, like for blown glass, or was it an actual retail store?
No, it wasn't just retail, just a small retail side.
Yeah, nice.
And we've kind of grown from there, and we took over the second space next to us, and our landlord let us put a big hole in the wall, and we kind of turned that side into the gallery side. But before that, we went through a bunch of different just options. We tried to make it work, and it just seemed to fit. If we put all the nicer glass over on the one side, everybody noticed it more.
Yeah, that's super smart, man. Because over the years, I've seen that kind of that trend in a sense for the shops that are still around, or the ones that actually kind of turn their place into somewhat of a gallery store. Especially with the quality of stuff coming out nowadays, it's gallery quality glass.
Very much so, and you almost have to have it displayed that way in a sense, and have your other side separated so they can distinguish it.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, it's really been a really nice just out turn for the people that actually come in to just view the glass is wonderful since we opened like the gallery full.
Yeah, it's smart.
It's been great. Yeah, it's been a great. I did have, just because of our space, we tried like 4 different things with it, and it just was always just extra, and it never really brought us anything. But once we started putting names on the glass I already had, and then we picked up more of the artists that are really well known, people really do come in to look at it. So it's nice having that.
Do you find the social media kind of way things have changed has really helped you guys out too with that, with driving traffic?
Yes. In ways it creates more work, but it does spread the work in a way. It spreads the artist's work way more than you could ever imagine. So sometimes the glass that I buy, nobody would ever see it if they don't come to one of my stores. But now that we can just post it, it can get to the whole world.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to worry about having a website or some kind of online shop like that because of it.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it sure is. So early on in the beginnings, how were you guys going about buying your glass? Were you kind of looking around for local glass artists and stuff, or were you using your glass friend as a connection?
For the most part, it was all of the above. He actually worked for a distributing company that was local.
Oh, nice.
That had been in business for about 5, 10 years at that time. And then he just recently, he's kind of just started to just like tone down as much as like he used to carry, I'll say 20 artists. Now it's just like him and his wife and 2 or 3 other artists. And from there, I've kind of always had to go and find other outlets of it, or distributors that come through town sometimes would just stop and I'd get lucky and they'd just have so many people. It would just be easy to buy my glass.
Heck yeah.
You you sometimes have to search it out, but a lot of time we did have a nice local scene. So with the local distributor, I didn't really have to look far because they would bring it to him and he would have it for me.
Nice. Yeah, so, I like, the fact that you guys are all about the local glass, because I find a lot of shops, it's like with all the import stuff coming in and all these little things going on, a lot of these smoke shops are turning to the, cheaper stuff, and there's so many new glass blowers out there. Not all of them want to make this stuff, but they could actually be the ones that keep the import shit out of the shops, by offering a quality product that's similar to the import shit, but at the same price,
Very much so, very much so. And I promote that so much when I'm out there kind of at the shows, or if I'm just talking to the local artists, I try to explain to them, hey, if you guys had an outlet for some cheaper tubes, or you guys had a little line of, production, I would rather buy them from you than even try to get them sent from California, wherever I get them from, because I usually try to keep American, but I still can find it cheaper if you shop around.
Yep.
It's one of those things where you're wishing it was right here, so I could go down to the local studio, or just a shop where I could pick off the shelf and be like, oh, here's my tubes I need for this month or this week or whatever.
Yeah.
It would be wonderful to have that, because I'm constantly looking for that and trying to promote it, but sometimes they don't either have the capability or the actual tools, or it's just one of those things where sometimes it's just not quite, I'll say, grown to that level here.
Yeah.
So, but I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully eventually, that's one of our goals, I guess, everywhere that has a scene.
Yeah.
A good glass scene.
Well, I'm playing devil's advocate, and also having worked myself in a smoke shop for several years, I understand why shops want to buy the import stuff, based on profit margins and,
profit. Yeah.
Like I went to Champs here in Orlando mid 6 months ago or so, and there was, we were seeing bubblers and so what looked like decent quality stuff coming in from India and China for like $4, $3, $2. These guys were selling their entire booths out, and it's like, it's understandable, because you can sell it for $25 and make a shit ton of a profit on there. But then you can also then flip that and buy local. You know what I mean? So it's, it's hard to compete against, but it's also understandable for a shop owner to want to have that kind of selection or some of that selection in your stores. And also a lot of these customers out there, I can't say a lot of them, but there is a percentage of them who really don't give a shit where the glass comes from. They just want to use it.
Amen. They're just like, give me a fucking pop can. Excuse my language.
Yeah. Oh, you can cuss, man.
They're not even afraid what it's going to do to them.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end, they have no knowledge, no care, and they just want to get to the point where they're having a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's where we're trying to provide that, but we're trying to be honest about it, but not have that outcome of, hey, what did we just do to our customers? I hate that feeling. I don't want to be that person ever. I don't want to be like, hey, I just sold you some junk.
Yep.
I want you to be happy. That's my motto. Keep people happy. Do the best, and that's why we're here. We're here to help people, not give them some kind of crap in a box and say, see you later tomorrow, have a good day.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's not me, and I understand exactly where you're coming from, because everyone sells themselves out for that profit.
Yep.
And it's not right, because we can find it here if we just do the math and do the work.
Yeah, exactly. And like we've got one shop owner. Well, like I've dealt with, over 20 years doing this almost now, and I've dealt with every type of smoke shop owner out there. Ones that were like little flea markets type stores to record stores to full blown heady, really nice high end smoke shops. And we've got one shop owner. I'm not going to say his name, but he's the kind of shop owner that he wants to lowball everything you get. He'll buy your entire case or 4 cases if you got them all for like the lowest, cheapest possible price. But then you go see the prices, his retail side of things, and he jacks things up literally 4 to 5 times. And it's
terrible.
like it is. It's greedy and selfish, and the guy's
It
got,
is.
got a bad name out there in the industry, but he also doesn't give a shit because people are still coming into his store and still buying the product.
I got a guy leaving the shop with 2 water pipes right now. Loves him. He's leaving with 2.
Nice.
He's a good friend of mine, Justin. Oh, that's so great. I'm just sitting out in the front of the shop, and that was the best thing ever. He's got two water pipes. Yeah, nice.
Hell yeah.
He said he was coming for 1, and he left with 2. That's how we do it. Yeah. That's how we do it at Smokin Smittys.
That's the shit right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great, man, because, I appreciate, like I said, the fact that, for one, to kind of start off with, where you and I are coming from here from the Tournament of Fire, and, you being a sponsor on this for the new way they're kind of doing things this year in the second season of it, and with St. George winning it, and you guys are now part of the winning, the grand prize, so you're on the show now. And, the fact that you guys are sponsoring this type of event, for one, I mean, hats off to you, man. So, it's not every shop's going to step up to the plate and offer that,
Yeah, they aren't sure what the industry's all about or what they're even sponsoring from.
Yeah.
I'm like, we know exactly what and I'm very good friends with Scott. I've known him quite a few years now, to where him and, it's like they're trying to get it to where people understand it at a different level, and just get it out there in a cooler way. I thought just involving us and being able to web it out like that was really cool. I don't know.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It is, and I'm always interested in the newer, just odd stuff that some people are like, oh, hey, what is this? And it's like, I don't know. Let's give it a try. Let's see what it's all about. I'm about that. So
hell yeah,
I think that it's great, and what they're doing is great. And if we can help, push it and move it and get it out there, then I'm with it, because I think it's like one of those things where there ain't enough to get it out there, the info for people just to even see what the glass industry is all contained. It's not just a bunch of I want to say, unfortunately, they always want to categorize us as just stupid stoners, and it's like we're more intricate than that.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, a bunch of dirty hippies.
We have dirty hippies.
Yeah.
And all this, which we're not. Like,
no.
Some of the magnificent stuff that comes out is mind blowing. It can be put in museums. It can be put in huge, like high end galleries. We're talking, it's just phenomenal where we're going in this industry. And Tournament of Fire is actually helping that, so people can see it more around the world with the media. It's like that social media we were talking about earlier just helps push it so much further. They're just saying, let's just have this here in our hometown or our home state, and then whoever comes. But see, this pushes it throughout like many states, many stores, and now everyone gets influenced by it. So it's so great. I'm very thankful and humbled to be part of it. And those guys are awesome, because they just, they were like, hey, do you want to be part of this? And we were like, well, sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we would love it.
Yeah, Scott and Ryan and all the cherry, all the guys up and gals up at Cherry Glass, like, the perspective in their work alone is unique, which I like a lot. Then now they've kind of created this concept, and what's fun too is this whole concept with this online thing is something I've had in my brain for a couple of years, and then these guys obviously started launching it last year, and then I was a part of it, and here we are now doing this, season 2 in a sense. And it's definitely a wave for the future. I mean, with the way television's going and programming, and people are really into the handmade, old school kind of traditional craft type stuff nowadays that's being broadcasted all over the world. Next thing you know, this Tournament of Fire is going to be hopefully on network television one day, on Vice or Discovery or some shit,
Yes. And that's what our goal is, I think. That's our goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you talk about the glass blowers, like, having done this show now for almost 4 years, and you're episode 195 now, so I've got a shit ton of people I've talked to, and it's always interesting and intriguing to me to talk to artists who work with this medium that have a perspective that is completely different than anything else out there in terms of art and mediums, but also like how eloquent and smart these artists are. They're not just like a pipe maker sitting behind their torch. They actually put thought and heart and inspiration and things from their life and everything else into their work, and it's awesome that you guys are having appreciation for that as well as a retail store.
Very much so. We appreciate you noticing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's what it's all about. It's like people that can take that and put it out there. It's great. You're helping a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess currently wise, when you guys are purchasing stuff, are you guys trying to like find as many outlets, including going to trade shows and stuff? Because I saw like you guys went to Lace Faces opening at their new gallery and stuff, so it seems like you guys are getting out and about.
Yeah, we do. We pick and choose, trying to be, courteous to ourselves, because we do work our shops a couple days, and we are try to be hands-on kind of owners. And we have 2 other shops that we go to weekly or biweekly. So if for us to be gone sometimes is harder. So we do pick and choose kind of where we do go or what shows we go to. But if it's something that we truly, like, my wife loves supporting Lace Face and the Walton firm, like, we love them to death, and we consider them friends. And so that was one thing we just wanted to do and be part of it, because it was the grand opening. And some shows, it's like it gets to the point where you have to pick and choose because there are so many. But for yourself, you need to know like what's going to be best for us, in the sense of what you need for the shop. And that could be if you need all the filler stuff, if you're just feeling like you need to get a bunch of production glass or some really nice headies and production glass. You can kind of mix it in with the whole, depending on how it's going. Like, Age has really been great, but it's been going to a different scene where everybody's saying Las Vegas is the new Age, which we truly love, and we've been part of that for the first 2 years, and we've been feeling it's just been going great. So
yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it.
And Champs is like that true, just all industry all the way in.
Mm-hmm.
If you need anything, you just go to one of those, and then from there, it's just kind of, here comes the local artist walking in with a case right now. All right.
Nice.
So, you just never know how it's going to go. I haven't even seen him. He's just walking up from somewhere. I don't even know. So you never know where the glass is going to come from. It comes to you. Sometimes you got to find it, but we do seem to pick and choose so we don't overwhelm ourselves with that. But like we said, we know what shows are best for what we need at the time. So we just kind of go by that. But I've been telling myself and my wife, we've been talking about it, just about going to like the grassroots and stuff, and something different, just to do a little different scene.
Mm-hmm.
Something we haven't done yet, to get on that side of the world. We don't get to the East Coast, the Midwest too much,
Yeah, you guys are in Montana?
Yeah, Montana. So we're kind of stuck up in a little desolate northern, not sure if you're going to go through sometimes part of the United States. It's funny, some people don't even know if we're part of it. They think we're part of Canada.
Interesting.
We're like, no, we're still United States.
Hell yeah. Yeah, you guys are definitely out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we got the I-90, which helps because it's a pretty good interstate that runs through, but it's one of those things where people are like, Montana? And we're like, yeah. And they're like, oh, I want to visit there. And they're like, yeah, come visit, but don't stay.
But yeah, so it's got to be interesting, though, to be, in your location to drive the business to your shop. Like, do you get, besides social media, how do you guys advertise where you're at?
We have a few of the local, I'll say newspapers, kind of like the music and nightlife events, and kind of one of those papers. Excuse me. We've advertised in that for a long time, and then we do some fun campus coupons because we have a we have the MSU here in Bozeman, so we kind of do that. It just goes straight to the campus to all the kids, and kind of that gets quite a few people in. It has like 25% off coupon that works really well. Yeah, and then we did do some local radio for a while. It started to kind of get overwhelming just having it all, so we kind of went back to just trying to do we do some local music sponsorship, where if there's a promoter that we have, No Coast Entertainment or Phil's Family is kind of what he goes by, but he usually involves us with all these bigger shows that he brings, and we just co-sponsor usually with that to kind of get out in the, I'll say night, just to get to the local people. But
right.
We honestly try to, I always tell my customers, if I'm working, to tell a friend. That's my motto. That's like one of the things I've always said. I always try to make people happy as they're leaving, and I always ask them to tell a friend. And the best kind of advertisement in my world is word of mouth.
Oh man,
in my eyes, and
yeah, it'll be that way forever.
Yeah, and so I always put a sticker of. I always try to have my personalized sticker or a personalized lighter. And if the lighter doesn't have my personalized sticker or my logo on it, that I just put it right on a kind of usually we carry clippers or some kind of a pretty good lighter, and we'll just slap it right on there and hand that out with every purchase. That is usually like a pipe purchase or something.
Yeah. Something I've actually in the past, I've told artists in the past to, lighters are like one of the best things you can get for super cheap to advertise yourself on. Get like the cheap, clear plastic lighters and get them silk screen with a print on there, and they may cost you 20 cents a piece, but man, it will save you and earn you money. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does.
And it travels. Yeah.
It's like a dollar bill.
I believe in it. I believe in it. You know it. You know it.
Yeah.
It's that dollar that keeps on giving back.
Yep. Yeah, and the fact that people steal lighters all the damn time too, so it goes from one person to the next, to the next, to the next, and
yes. Yes. It's advertisement that will travel. That's what better advertisement can you get that is traveling advertisement? Yeah, we can always just put it on something and it sits there, but if you give something to someone that you know is going to go through hands, it's wonderful.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's super smart.
Yeah.
So
I try to do a cool business card. We did do the grinder card.
Okay.
With we specialize that.
Nice.
And it's actually we give it out as our business card, and we've got great just return. Like people have been stoked on that.
I bet. And
that's probably been.
I completely forgot about those. I remember seeing those a couple of years ago, and I thought it was a great idea.
Syndica. Yeah. And what was great about? We went to the 420, the Champs and the Big Show, and the 420 show down in Denver, and they had our logo as their stand-up flyer.
Too cool.
By. Yeah, so it was two guys handing our card off. So
damn.
we scored on that one.
Oh, man, that's fucking awesome, dude. That's some serious free advertisement right there.
Yeah, it was, and you just never know. See, it's just stuff like that where you're just, like, blessed,
Yeah, it's like good karma.
Things comes around. Yep, good karma, and that's what I'm all about in life.
Yeah, hell yeah. So, being in Montana, how are the laws? Because I'm not really familiar with the laws out there. Like, what do you guys do with legalities?
So it's a medical.
Okay.
We're a tobacco shop. We've always been tobacco. That's kind of our guidelines and how we run all three of our shops. We always are in that gray area where people are trying to, figure out new. They're just new to the industry and they have no idea. Like, okay, this is this, but this isn't this, and it's like this is vaping, this is nicotine, this is medical. They don't quite understand it very well, but we always are there to help guide them.
Yeah.
So it's just something I've always dealt with, and we've been that way since we've been open. So I've just kind of just like balanced it out and kind of just been there. But we're you know, we've seen a change just going to certain states that are just around us, and just having, like you said, some of the glass artists that travel, that come from different states that will sell glass or stuff, will talk about it. And it's like the industry is so much, it's changing so much because of that. And I think the artists are seeing this, and that's what's giving them a hard time.
Yeah.
Is because of that recreational change, in the stores that are opening that have that recreational option don't care what they spend on glass or what they get for glass, and it's unfortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. They
It's
want
becoming
they want to buy the disposable glass. You know, the shit that they were saying they could buy for 25 cents and sell it for $5. You know, people can then throw away if they need to. Like, because I know like a lot of the recreational states are also kind of it's like a tourist draw too. You know, for to go there for just for that reason, like Colorado, you know, or whatever. So you want to be able to go and buy something you can toss out before you go back on your airplane. But Florida's the same way. Like, that's part of what I've been dealing with forever, is like the tour, because we're a tourist-based, you know, state here.
Yeah.
And our laws are all fucked up as it is. I mean, we got medical now, but it's still like that. We just finally want a case, a lawsuit against the state to allow flowers to be part of medical, because it's all been tinctures and everything else in the process. But still, it's been a tourist-based industry. So like the import stuff has been a huge part of this market here for a long time, and I've had to compete with it since I've been blowing glass. So I knew that I needed to make $3 and $4 and $5 cheap wrap and rake spoons and inside outs and all that stuff, just because I needed to compete with that shit, you know?
Yes, and you fight that balance, and it's like, should I make this to keep everybody happy? But it's like, it's not even capable sometimes when the prices are that just you to compete with. It's just, I feel you, and I ain't that guy who's ever going to put an artist in that spot. You know, I try not to ever be like, hey, I can get these for these, and
right, that's the
you
worst.
should give them to me for that. It's like, no, I know what you put into it. You put your blood, heart, and soul, and a little bit of actual you know, you thought that you were like, I'm going to use these colors, do this is going to be safe. Hopefully, you know, most artists are looking at it like that. Hold on.
Yeah.
Turn the handle. The guy he tried to, I get it every day. My door's kind of tinted, so they go to pull on it, but they never go to turn the handle to my store, and they walk away.
At least they're not trying to push it.
That's what we're talking about with our customers. It's like sometimes they just don't care enough to even care. It's like, look down and grab the handle.
Yeah.
It's like they don't even care what kind of piece they're getting, unfortunately. So that's what keeps that industry going. The Chinese and the import and the into India, wherever else they want to claim. I had a guy be like, send me some stuff on Wi-Fi, on just media, and was like, do you want these? I'm not quite sure where they came from, the orchid. And I'm like, you can look at them and tell. It's like, don't try to play that with me, you know? He's like, I've got a couple hundred of them. Would you like a couple for $3 a piece? It's like, no, dude. I ended up getting some vape stuff from the guy, and now he's been like sending me texts every day of just crap. It's just like, get off of it, dude.
Yeah, it's the worst.
They're just so... Yeah, it is, and that's what we're dealing with now. It's like these guys are out there pushing it because they're hitting every other store down the street. Like you said, 35 stores in one town or whatever you want to call it. It's like they can just call the next store and then get a hit, call the next store, get a miss, call the next store, get a hit. You know, they don't care. They're just happy.
So that being said, with your area, do you guys have like a lot of shops around your area, or are you guys pretty exclusive?
We are pretty exclusive and try to have an exclusivity to certain stuff, but it's very hard. And we do have five shops, I'll say, here that are very distinguished, you know, and been part of the community for quite a bit. There's one that here's a pretty big chain that's all over that I felt when they showed up, I kind of was like, why are they here? But, that's life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it just drives competition.
Yeah, it does. And like my other town where I'm at, I had a store move in the same complex. So,
oh Jesus,
that's just how that landlord felt with the need to do business.
Yeah,
and I was like, we don't really think so. And he's no longer the management there anymore either, and I wonder why.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Because that's how life goes, and the new management is great. So
nice. It's always tricky.
We did buy our building, our third shop, so we're very happy to have that. But we do rent our other two shops, and we're always in the spot where they can always come in and kick us out or say, well, they don't want us anymore.
Yep.
We get that all the time. It's very hard.
Yeah, it's smart purchasing the land like that, with your third place.
Yeah, because being in this industry, we get discriminated a lot just by when we want to rent out places, or we want to move, or we want to do, certain. We want to do certain parties or do certain stuff like that. Sometimes getting stuff, licensings or trying to push stuff through, they look at us like, why should we?
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know why, but we're always in the industry like that. And, I'm happy to be where I'm at here and be established and be part of this community. And I try to explain to people, when they come here, you're getting local, you're buying local. I've been here and I'll do my best. I'm not trying to fool you,
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm honest with people. If you want to buy a cheap, if I happen to have some cheap import or something that is that option in my store, I will definitely let you know that's why it's cheap. And I will let you know if you're buying something that somebody made local.
Yeah, it's smart.
And if somebody comes in and says, where's the local, I point it out. I don't try to sell them something that isn't. So
yeah.
That's my motto. Be real.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because nothing worse than walking into a shop and the Chinese or the import shit's mixed up with all the other stuff, and it's like, I like the shops that have just a case like, this is our import shit. If you want some, here it is. Here you go.
Yes. Be blunt. Be real. And just put it out there, and people can make the choice. Yeah,
exactly.
Do you
think you guys will ever have like an actual glass studio in your third place since you now own the property there?
We don't really have the space for it, honestly.
Okay.
But if we ever built on, we might.
Yeah.
Our goal is that in our Bozeman location, where we've been here for 10 years. Just now, like, we've been looking into building a spot.
Nice.
And that will definitely have a live studio, live glass. It will have, we're going to try to do distributing to all the dispensaries, any other stores. We're going to do it all. We're going to try to, because we already have that kind of inventory going because of our 3 stores, that we have so much back inventory and we like to buy so much that we can easily distribute it to some of the local dispensaries, and anybody who really wants to just have a piece of it, we can help them, guide them in the right direction to, hey, you can have this nicer glass and you don't have to have the Chinese shit that you've been purchasing online, trying to fill your spot on your case to make your patients happy. Quit doing it. We'll help you. That's our goal.
That's awesome.
We want to have a big enough space to do all that.
Heck yeah.
That is our main goal, and we are pushing hard for it. So hard.
Too cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's good to hear. It's good to hear plans for the future.
Did you see the 40-second gallery? Have you been seeing their posts and stuff?
No, not yet.
It's been so jelly. Their new facility they just built, and it's magnificent the way they did it and displayed the artists. And they have a huge studio with it's just magnificent how they did it. Gave me a lot of inspiration.
Nice. I know the guys up at Tobacco Leaf in Tallahassee. They're one of the first shops I went into that had that gallery space, but they also have a glass studio in there, and they do classes. And like the 2 classes I've ever taken in my life were at that place up there, and it was such a cool option to see that in a shop. They're right by the big college up there at FSU, and so it's like you guys are near a college, so you can have party, keg demo nights or whatever, and bring, and just bring the crowds in.
Yeah, and it does. Believe it, it does. Yeah,
that's amazing.
You get to have just that easy capability of bringing artists to have live shows too. Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah. And I like the fact that you guys are willing to evolve. I know so many retail places that are just like stuck in the 1990s.
They're like, no live flame.
Yeah,
they're
they
like,
don't nothing.
Burn the place down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're like, no, dude, you got to go with it.
Yep. Yeah, because I work over at Disney as an artist, and I get asked that all the time. It's like, aren't you guys worried about blowing this place up or burning it down? I'm like, dude, I've been doing this for 20 fucking years and have, knock on wood, but I've never had an issue even at my own home studio. So
yeah,
people are
funny. Not at all. It's as safe as cooking food.
Yeah, exactly.
If you on a gas stove.
Yeah.
Yeah,
which is actually that's how I find the ordinances and the people that you got to pull permits for, they treat your glass studio when you're building it like you're a restaurant, in terms of all the permitting you get and the stuff you got to have.
Yeah, for zoning and fire. Yeah, just all that. Yeah, you get signed off. Yep, the fire guys will come do that for you.
Heck yeah.
Fire department,
yep.
Fire marshals or whatever.
Yeah.
They're awesome. They're always pretty good guys for the most part.
Yeah, it's good to be on their good side. That's for sure.
Yeah. When you're dealing with open flames, you want to be on their side.
Absolutely.
Sorry about that.
Hell yeah. So
Amy's actually trying to get a hold of Melissa from Las Vegas.
Oh, right on.
Hey. We're still working out all the details with our flyer and stuff for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Before I let you guys go, anything else you want to add to the show here?
No, not at all. Anytime if you're feeling the need to talk to the shop, shop owner, just give me a jingle, and we really appreciate the support and what you're doing, buddy. I really like it. We turned on the radio a little bit earlier.
Oh, nice.
And I was just listening in. You started talking about waste space in her stuff, and it was just great. So we'll be listening more often.
Hell yeah.
Like I said, anytime you want to get a hold of us and do a little thing, we can.
Awesome. Yeah, man, I appreciate that for sure. And part of my goal, like long term, is to do a second show that's going to be just for smoke shops, just to have these kind of conversations, because I think it's so important to, our industry seems like there's the glass blower, then there's the shop, and there's kind of this weird divide in between us, and I want to kind of help gel everything and bring everybody together, at least the shops that give a shit. I'm not just going to bring any shop on the show, but I'm definitely interested in the perspectives, and and I appreciate what you guys are doing, hooking up the locals and getting out there and supporting everybody else. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I love it. I'm down with you. So anytime, like I say, if you're feeling like you want to get that going, just let me know, and I'll help you. I'll help. Okay.
Yeah, will do, man. I appreciate that.
All right. Have a great day.
You too, brother. Thanks again. Take care of yourself.
All right. Peace.
Yeah, man. See ya.
Thanks to all the listeners. Bye.
Yeah. See ya. So I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation with Josh over there at Smokin Smittys. As you can hear, they're one of the shops out there in our industry that have a heart and care about what's going on, and it's so important. And it's a lot of fun to get these guys on here to talk about this. And for the future, again, we're going to be doing a secondary show just going to be dedicated just to smoke shops, because I really am wanting to help to bring this divide that we have, in a sense, kind of close the gap per se. And it's just so important. We build relationships with our shops, and the shops that we have relationships with, they feed our families, and and in turn we also feed their families too. So as you can hear, from him talking and the passion he has for this industry, it's what it's all about. It's about being passionate, being honest, creating a good quality product, having good prices, and communicating with your shops. Checking in with them once a month or every couple weeks or whatever you got to do, just to make sure you're in contact and keeping their stores stocked with your merchandise. So until next time, hope you guys enjoyed this conversation with Josh over at Smokin Smittys. You can check them out at Smokin Smittys on Instagram. I'll have their links in the show notes. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon. Love you so much. Thanks for tuning in, and have a beautiful day. Take care. Peace.